game number 21 between Great Britain and Russia. Umpires for today's game are Sasha Thomasberger, home plate umpire. Alberto Fiorini, first base umpire. And Andrei Marinovsky from Ukraine. Now coaches, please, for the technical meeting to the home plate.
Сейчас У-15 чемпионат мира идет. Американцы первый матч 19-0 кого-то раскатали. Фотография 15-летнего американца. У него одна рука с две моих. Я говорю, конкретно одна рука, у меня две таких.
Hello, guys.
Вообще я не знаю, что поехал, он бьющий, я не знаю, но все равно. Когда там это 18-летний заместитель, да, я не знаю, что делать.
What can I do? Show the picture of the... From the two young guys? Okay.
Now introducing Team Russia. Andrei Selivanov, head coach. Alexander Volkov, coach. Alexei Yerofeyev, coach. Vladimir Saranchik, coach. Batting first, Vasily Kosma. Batting second, Antonio Bulcatini. Batting third, Nikita Laiko. Batting fourth, Maxim Makarka. Batting fifth, Pablo Rodriguez Salvez. Batting sixth, Vladislav Smogrilo. Batting seventh, Konstantin Korkov. Batting eighth, Ilya Vorobyev. Batting ninth, Anton Logvinov. Starting pitcher, Vladislav Govorabov. Rest of the team, please join your teammates. Team Great Britain, head coach, Ryan Carroll. Coach Will Linton. Coach Ken McCart. And Coach Bill Thurston. Starting lineup, batting first, Jamie Dick. Batting second, Richard Brereton. Batting third, Wally Thompson. Batting fourth, Connor Brown. Batting fifth, Fred Moser. Batting 6, Conrad Turner. Batting 7, Rory Chandler. Batting 8, John Howard. Batting 9, Will Tucker. Starting pitcher, Luke Armstrong. Now guys, please join your teammates. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Russia. Now, national anthem of Great Britain.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you are someplace comfortable, more comfortable than here. Another hot day in the Slovakian capital, but a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, and both Great Britain and Russia seem fired up for this game. Great Britain coming off obviously a crushing loss yesterday to Ukraine, despite rallying late. We came up on the wrong end of a 7-5 result, but today the boys look fired up and ready to go against Russia. This will be the lineup for Russia: Vasily Kochnov, Antonio Bulte, Nikita Lekov, Maxim Makarin, Pablo Rodriguez, Vladislav Shmordilo, Konstantin Porkun, Ilya Vorobiev, Artem Logovanov, and the pitcher will be Vladislav Guvaradlo. For Great Britain, in left, Rory Chandler; in center, Jamie Dix; and around on right, Ollie Thompson. Little different look on the infield today. At third base, we have Will Zucker; shortstop, Freddie Mosier; second base, yesterday's starting pitcher, Richard Brereton; and John Hall Walsh around at first. Connor Brown is catching, and Luke Armstrong gets his first action of the week. Luke had been up in the bullpen repeatedly during the week, but situation never called for a closer, and Luke is finally getting his first work, a start here in our fifth and final game against Russia, rematch of just a couple of days ago. A couple of injuries to report, neither of them severe, but both will keep them players out of the game. Callum Vinyl, catcher, re-injured a thumb on his catching hand that has been really plaguing him for over a year now, and he fought through the pain and it finally succumbed yesterday. Juan Diaz, who has been playing middle infield and hitting up a storm, his bat will be missed. Hurt his throwing hand, and he played through the discomfort yesterday, but has to call it a tournament. If that White House in center field looks close, that's because it is. Unusual shaped field, 295 down each line, 312 to dead center. But the power alley's quite a bit deeper than that. Here's the first pitch. Ball high. Armstrong looks to have good velocity out of the gate. Center fielder number 23, Vasily Kochnov. 1-0. GDB has every intention of trying to compete and win this game. A disappointment, obviously, yesterday at the result against Ukraine. 3-0 to the leadoff hitter from Russia. Fastball. Armstrong finds the slot, and it's 3-1. Zucker, Mosier, Brereton, and Hall Walsh around the infield. Hall Walsh up on the grass. There's a fastball. Oh, just missed. Not a bad pitch. But with 3 balls already recorded, leads to the first base runner and a leadoff walk. So, second baseman Antonio Wulte will step in. Look out for an early bunt here, perhaps. And Armstrong high with the curveball. 1-0. Ball down in the dirt. Brown blocks it, and that keeps Kochnov safely at first. We are about 8 or 10 kilometers west of the old town in Bratislava, so the opposite side of town, and a field tucked right in amongst a residential development, a couple of apartments surrounding home plate, called the Fighting Flies. And while at first I figured there was a team here called the Fighting Flies, I suspect it's more because we'll all be fighting the flies here that have descended upon us in the great heat. There's a curveball, drops in for a strike, 2-1. I only wish I was kidding. 2-1, men on first, nobody out here in the top of the first. Armstrong deals another curveball, and they throw back. Oh, they would have had him. John Hall couldn't come up with it. I don't think the ump called. He did not. It was a great pitch. It was right in the zone, but he called it a ball. So 3-1. Where I'm sitting, which is a pretty good spot, sure looked like the same pitch that had fallen in for a strike the pitch before. So 3-1, men on first, throw over. He's back safely. 3 umps again today. First base, second base, and home plate. And the infield guys will switch, obviously, as runners get on. 3-1, runner goes, curveball, strike, throw down to Brereton, and he's got him. Well, Britain can't get any of these calls. That was the second straight day where it appeared that Connor Brown threw a runner out to Richard Brereton, and we didn't get the call. So, stolen base, full count. That curveball had dropped in. Runner picked a good pitch to run on. So Armstrong should be focused on this batter. Batter's probably not the tallest guy in the lineup, and there are some big boys on this team. There's ground ball into the hole at short. Mosier picks it up. Long throw to Hall Walsh. And John struggles to corral it. Ball bounces away from him, but not far enough to cause trouble. So, first and third with nobody out here in the top of the first. Still fooling around with the camera angle here, but I think we're about to get it. There we go. Ball in the dirt, 1-0. On the number 3 batter, Nikita Lakov. He's the shortstop, number 8. First and third, nobody out. I would imagine the runner will be going during this sequence. There's a fastball for a strike, 1-1. Armstrong with good velocity. Just trying to find the strike zone early in the game here. There's a fastball, foul tipped. Gets a piece of Connor Brown. Second strike, I should say. It is 1-2 on the number 3 hitter for Team Russia. Curveball just misses. Brown blocks it. Runners are staying put. Quite a bit of room behind the catcher, but the foul territory between first and third and the fences is nearly non-existent. There's a curveball, and it is driven left. It is a fair ball to left field, so that will score 1, and he will pull into second with a double as the throw comes in from Rory Chandler to Will Zucker. Zucker, the third baseman, had gone out for the cutoff, and Mosier covered third. So second and third, nobody out. Now 1-0 to Team Russia. Maxime Makarkin, catcher, and one of the best hitters in Team Russia's lineup, steps in with nobody out and men on second and third. There's a fastball for a strike, gets ahead, and a lot better to pitch ahead than behind, especially with the tempting outfield fence right across this entire field. And there is 0-2 foul ball. May have caught a bit of Markikin himself. Quickly 0-2. Fastball driven to right field. It should stay up for, there's an out. Now the throw from Thompson comes all the way home. He's going to take one bounce. Brown grabs it, and he is out at home. So a lovely double play executed by Ollie Thompson. Makarkin had driven a line ball out to right field. Again, remembering these fences are not all that deep. Anybody who catches the ball is himself not that deep to begin with. And he threw a strike on one hop to Connor Brown, who made the tag. So 2 outs all of a sudden, and the danger quite a bit less at the moment. 1-0 Russia with 2 outs, man on second. We're just getting started in the top of the first. Here's a fastball in the fifth, and with almost no foul territory, that will be out of play. This is Paulo Rodriguez, the DH, number 29. Oh, 1. Beautiful curveball. Armstrong, when he has located that curveball, that is a very effective pitch. Dropping right out of the hitting zone. And it's quickly 0-2. Needless to say, if Luke gets out of this with just one run given up, he will have really, really met the challenge. Here's fastball outside. Good idea. Did not tempt the batter on 0-2. So 1-2. Man on second. There's a curveball in the dirt. Brown working hard. Does a great job of blocking that. So runner does not advance. 2-2. First base is open. Thanks to the double play on the back of Ollie Thompson's throw. And there's a fastball down low, strike 3 called. And Luke Armstrong does a yeoman's job in just holding Team Russia to 1. So at the end of a half of an inning, 1-0 Russia, Great Britain coming to bat. Oh, actually, 20. What would you say? Yeah, but you're also lucky to get out of it 1. Vladislav Govoradlo taking the last of his warm-up pitches here in the bottom of the first. He'll be facing Jamie Dix, Richard Brereton, and Ollie Thompson with the hand injury to Juan Diaz. Everybody moves up in the order. Diaz was the leadoff hitter all week and just had a fantastic tournament up till obviously having to come out due to injury. Had been batting .524 and just a fantastic job. But Jamie Dix will step in. He had been batting number 2 and doing a great job on base just all week long, nearly 500% on base average, followed by Richard Brereton, who has been GB's most consistent hitter, .542, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and a homer. And he'll be looking to take advantage of the short fence today. Ollie Thompson batting third. So, GB down 1 early. GB a little more fired up than they've been all week. It's almost as if the loss yesterday has sort of reignited them. Sometimes the loss early in the week isn't a bad thing at all. The loss in a must-win game is always a good bit tougher. Here's a pitch to Dix. It is a fastball down in the zone, and he takes strike 1 from Govoradlo. Probably Govoradlo. Fastball a little more down. 1-1, bounces in the dirt. No wind, but a short outfield fence. I would be surprised if each team didn't clear it today. 1-1 to Dix. Fastball down in the zone, 2-1. He's been testing the bottom of the zone since that first pitch, but the last 2 have been markedly lower. So 2-1 is the count on the leadoff hitter for Team Great Britain. Swings through a fastball on the black outside and over the plate. So 2-2 now to Jamie Dix, number 11 center fielder today. Russia in their bright red tops, gray slacks in Great Britain in the home white. Dix calls timeouts. And so, pitcher had dropped the ball. Apologies for the interruption. You missed Richard Brereton doubling to the left center wall. He advanced to third on a pass ball, and Ollie Thompson just walked. So 1 out. Thompson's back. Brereton hops off, and Connor Brown awaits the first pitch of his at-bat. I suspect this equipment's going to be on and off all day, so I'll do my best to stay on top. Brown looks at it didn't act like a changeup, but it sort of looked like a changeup. And it stayed high enough to be a strike. A throw back again to Thompson. Brereton third. There's, in a sense, it's a pretty low risk play because if the ball gets away, it won't get away far. Obviously, you don't want to give Brereton home plate too easily, but the foul lines are the out of bounds is very small. And that's driven into left field by Connor Brown. Brereton will score easily, but because how shallow the left fielder and all the outfielders are playing, Ollie Thompson unable to advance to third. So Brereton scores on the single by Connor Brown, and that'll bring up Freddie Mosier, who is handling duties at short today. 1-1. GB still batting in the first. First and second, 1 out. Ball down. 1-0 to number 7. He drives the ball deep to left. And it is gone. A home run, 3-run home run for Fred Mosier, whose entire family, I think except his younger brother, is in attendance. An exciting moment for the soon-to-be Middlebury College baseball player. Hits a 3-run homer to left center. And Great Britain is now up 4-1. Got a chest-high fastball and did not hesitate. Line drive out to left. I'm going to say it was around 330 to the left center gap. Maybe a bit further, 340. But line drive, the outfielder never budged. There's a curveball down and away for first pitch, ball 1 to Conrad Cornell. 4-1 now, Great Britain. Fastball just misses. He tried, if it wasn't a two-seamer, it looked like it was wanted to grow up and be a two-seamer. Had a little bit of late movement back to the plate, but not enough. 1-1. Fastball down, 2-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 3-0. 3-0. Left fielder was pretty defenseless on that. He turned around and looked as Mosier's home run cleared the wall. There's a fastball for strike one, 3-1 on Conrad Cornell, who is DHing for GB today. Fouls the ball back right above our head here. So full count now. Cornell flips it out to center field, and it's gone. And when I say flip, I do mean flip. There's no other way to say it. In most parks, not to give him anything but full credit, but in most parks that is a pretty routine fly ball to a center fielder, but he again had to watch it go. Home run for Conrad Cornell. Got a ball a bit down in the zone and strong enough just to flip it out. And it was all that the catcher could do. Would literally shrug his shoulders when it all was said and done. 5-1 GB, nobody on, obviously, and one out for Rory Chandler now. He takes fastball just high. All week we've been looking at the statistics of the players who play in the B pool, and it was a little bit of a surprise to us all that there were so many home runs being hit, and I think we now have our answer. There's 1-1 fastball at the knees to Chandler, number 2, who's had a terrific week. Continues to be batting over 500. And should be very proud of his efforts this week. Here's a foul ball out of play down the right field side. Between foul balls and home runs, the umps are going to need quite a few baseballs today. (5-1) Great Britain. Double by Braird and 2 homers, one by Cornell and one by three-run homer by Mosier as a curveball just catches enough of the plate, and that is the second out. Called strike 3 on number 2. So that'll bring up John Hall Walsh, first baseman. As I say, we've been looking at the stats all week and a bit incredulous that the talent was so different between the two pools, but the reality was there was another factor. There's a curveball, slider actually down and away, and the factor was the dimensions of this park here. Dirt looks okay, infield looks okay. There is a little league field in the left field area, but doesn't really bother anybody. 2-0. Fastball inside. Hall Walsh politely disagrees. I agree with him, but called a strike nonetheless, 2-1. The fastball outside now. And fastball in dirt. Hall Walsh takes his base on balls, and that'll bring up Will Zucker, the number 9 hitter. So everybody in the order has come to the plate thus far. Jamie Dix, perhaps a surprise to be grabbing his batting gloves, and we'll step into the on-deck circle. But first, Will Zucker with 1 on and 2 out, bounces a fastball in the dirt. Ball 1. Mosier the big blow, 3-run home run to left center. And there's a single slash to the right side by Zucker. This will be a day when there's a decent chance that an outfielder, left or right fielder, could throw somebody out from where they play. They have to play shallow because the fence is behind them. And whether they try to throw a base runner out at first or maybe a runner who's not flat out at a base like second or third. We shall see. But 2 outs, men on first and second, and for the second time this inning, Jamie Dix comes to the plate. He takes a fastball at the knees for strike one. GB resuming their hot hitting today. There's a curveball outside the zone. 1-1. GB has hit like gangbusters all week. Picked a tough day to have a tough day at the plate, and that was yesterday. And obviously, Ukrainian pitchers had something to do with that. But British have found their batting shoes again, and there's a strong single right up the middle. Hall Welsh will round third, and he's headed for home. And the throw is thrown to no one in particular, and Hall Welsh scores easily. Dix gets to second, and Zucker to third. Don't know where and that may have been a factor of the center fielder, again, because of the walls being so close to the infield, that going to their normal spots. They're arguably not a need for cutoff men today. The outfielders are so close to the infield. So Brereton steps in. He doubled earlier in the game, has 2 runners in scoring position, and it's 6-1. Britain with 2 outs now. Up the middle by Dix. And an error on center fielder. Throwing error allows runners to both head to scoring position. Govarello stares in, gets the sign. Ball in the dirt, and here comes Zucker. He will score standing up on the pass ball. Ball went through the 5-hole, and it allowed both runners to move up a base. 7-1 now. GB.
Nice pitch.
There would be the error. Would the runner be out? So it's no, he was already out. So there's no error. That's always right. That's what I was trying to before, like to remember for the white pitch. How do we get told without the error would be quicker with the error? It's not that you know it's the same for the throw before the T2. When the guy throw from right, it's like too far away.
Okay.
3-6.
Well, we're back. Sorry about the delay. We're fighting elements here today. It's very hot and sunny, but I found a shady spot that I hope will help us out here and cooperate. If you saw the end of the inning, you've seen the double play beautifully turned. John Hall Walsh picked up the ground ball, threw it to Will Zucker at short, and returned the throw back for the double play. Beautifully done. And the runners had gotten on courtesy of an error and of a walk.
So 15 is out.
Pitchers go out, yeah. First pitcher go out.
So it's which number?
24.
I'll try to locate this camera a little better. I know the fence is in the way, but the fence is very,
The left fielder, small fielder, go out.
very uneven here.
Fielder
And
goes out.
finding a place that has a decent fence and a decent shade may be something I battle all afternoon.
First baseman go to
First baseman goes on right field, and the right fielder goes to the left.
Okay, so right field goes to the left. First base goes to right field. Who goes to first base?
Catcher.
The new or the old one?
Yes, we have old one.
The
now
old
it's
one?
Yes, right now it's a new catcher, number 21.
And the 21 is in.
Yeah.
So the only one is out is the left field, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1-1 to leadoff batter Connor Brown. If you missed the end of the first, Brereton got a second double of the inning. But was unable to score. And so the inning ended 8-1. Brown swings over strike three. It bounces in the dirt, and the throw to first base will be, not in time. So the throw was in time, but he took his foot off the base. It's a good call by the ump, and obviously the first baseman's not happy about it. There was some shuffling around. I can't even keep track of it all, but the catcher from the first inning took over at first base. A new catcher has come into the game. And they're hearing it from their coach a bit. So now nobody out with the man on first, and Freddie Mosier, who homered in the first inning, 3-run shot that really started the hit parade for GB. Here's a throw back to get Brown at first base, but as I had forecast early in the game, no harm if it goes over your head because the out of bounds there is so short. Fastball just misses. A foul ball straight back to where we are. And quickly 2 strikes. Brown is on first with nobody out in the bottom of the second. 8-1 Great Britain. 8 runs on 7 hits and no errors for Britain. 1 run on 3 hits. And no errors for Russia. There's a pop-up to the second baseman for the first out. Brown is back safely to first base. So 1 out. And Conrad Cornell will come up. Today's designated hitter. He hit a home run, going back-to-back and belly-to-belly with Freddie Mosier. His was straight to center field, out towards that big white home just beyond the fence. Fastball outside, Catcher looks Brown back. As I said, Team Russia made quite a few changes in that last inning defensively, so I think we won't catch up to them until they come to bat. A little change up there, and Cornell is ahead of it. Asked the ump for sure, was it a strike? And the answer is affirmative. Steps off. There's a ball in the dirt, 2-1. Good throw over, but Brown is back. One out. Man on first. GB scored 8 in the first. Ball in the dirt. Good job blocking that by the Russian backstop. And so the GB backstop. Connor Brown doesn't make a move from first. It's 3-1 though on Conrad Cornell. Rory Chandler, the left fielder, is on deck. Here's an attempted pickoff. But once again, Brown is back to first base. Actually, the pitcher throws somewhat harder to first base than he does to home. I wonder if, with runners off, there's a foul tip. So hit and run was on, 3-1. Brown had a good jump, and Cornell just swung underneath and tipped it back for strike two. Full count now, 1 out in the second. 8-1 over Russia in the early going. Luke Armstrong has settled in very nicely for GB, and once again, the infield defense showing a bit of flash that perhaps eluded them yesterday. There's the pitch, and it's fouled out of play in right field. So 3-2 will do it again. 1 out. Brown remains at first base. He ran on 3-1. We'll see if he goes on 3-2. 1 out. Leans back toward first. Takes off. Cornell fouls it back. It looks like got a piece of the ump, who seems to be okay. Rory Chandler flips the ball back to the catcher, hits the ump in the back. And the ump turns as if to say, he didn't really want to do that, right? 3-2, Brown is not off. Ground ball through the left-hand side, and it will get through for a base hit to left field. Picked up and thrown back in. So GB has a little something going here in the second as well. Runners at first and second for Rory Chandler. And Rory better realize that strike zone, at least this time, may be a little bit bigger than he wishes, having plunked the ump, but hopefully no hard feelings. 1 out, first and second for GB. Chandler batting for the second time in the game. Takes a fastball high. 1-0. Connor Brown on second. Conrad Cornell at first base. Here's another fastball, same spot outside, 2-0. Third base coach Bill Percy barking out the instructions. Rory gets his, digs in, takes a swing at the 2-0 pitch deep in the hole short. The only play is no play. So the ball had just enough taken off of it by a couple of hops in the grass. Backhanded pickup going to his right, but as he looked up, the speedy Chandler was really approaching first base, and there was nothing to do but eat it. Bases loaded now, 1 out for John Hall Walsh. Golden opportunity to add to the Great Britain lead here in the second. Pitch in the dirt, blocked well. It's the second tough pitch that the new catcher has done a good job in knocking down before it can cause any trouble. There's a fastball in the outside corner, placed perfectly, 2-1 to Hall Walsh. Zucker is on deck. In fact, Zucker's so on deck, he's practically in the field of play, but we'll see if he gets pushed back by the home plate ump. Curveball in the dirt, and it is now 3-1 with the bases loaded. Nowhere to put him. John Hall Walsh should be looking dead red here and swinging out of his socks. Not tempted and did not swing. I'm sorry, it's 3-1 now. Thought it was 2-1. I thought it was 3-1. Scoreboard perhaps not in sync with the ump. 3-1 now. And everything I just said hopefully still remains. John Hall should be zoning in here and teeing off. And a late call, but a fastball that clipped the outer part of the plate. 3-2, 1 out. There's a chopper to second. This could be 2, and he mishandles the hop. That will score Brown, and hustling around from second base is Conrad Cornell. So, as they say, a Sunday school hop popped up chest high, and probably a textbook case of taking his eye off the ball and already thinking about the double play he was going to turn. And obviously it was not to be. So no out recorded, 2 more runs across. And we now have first and second. Chandler at second, John Hall Walsh at first. And Will Zucker digging in for the second time today. Zucker shows bunt. I think he pulled it back, but they called it a strike. So, strike 1. Zucker hammers it up the middle, and the shortstop dives, cannot come up with it. Here comes Chandler rounding. The throw winds up cut off by the first baseman, as is appropriate. And Zucker gets himself a 1-out RBI with Chandler scoring from second. John Hall Walsh replaces him at second. Zucker at first. 11-1 Great Britain. And Jamie Dix, the leadoff hitter, steps in with just 1 out, 2 men on. Great Britain will be forever disappointed they didn't win yesterday, but they have to look back on a week where they swung the bats awfully well 5 out of the 6 games. With recording at least through yesterday, the highest team batting average of all the teams in the tournament. And today was a resumption of the very good play that they showed the first 4 days, and yesterday you can chalk it up to a bad one. There's a slow hopper to short, to second for 1, and on to first, not in time to catch Jamie Dix, who has plenty of speed. So Zucker is out at second, Dix is at first, John Hall Walsh is at third, and Richard Brereton steps in. He has 2 doubles in the day already, both of which came in the first inning. Not often that you're up 3 times in the first 2 innings, but with an 11-1 lead, that is what happens. So 3 across. Brereton with an opportunity to collect some more. Dix with a short lead at first. Brereton takes a fastball high on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Kerbal drops in, inside. I think he knew it was a strike, just didn't like the pitch, so 0-2 all of a sudden. First and third, we'll see if Zucker goes. He might run on. Ball's going to be outside. Brereton takes high. Was not outside, but it was high. Fastball 1-2. Zucker stayed put. Fastball gets away. Hall Walsh stays put, but Jamie Dix heads down to second, so he'll be in scoring position now. 2-2. To the number 2 hitter playing second base today, number 13, Richard Brereton. 2 doubles already today, both to left center. Here's the 2-2. Down, slider down to the dirt, 3-2. So from 0-2 to 3-2, base is open. And so Russian pitcher does not have to be too cute. He can try to extend here with an open base, but we'll see what happens. 3-2. Brereton hammers the ball through the left side, and that will score 2. Around comes Hall Walsh. Around comes Jamie Dix. And Brereton holds it first with a 2-out, 2-run single, his third of the day, and second and third RBIs. 13-1 now. Great Britain over Russia. Ollie Thompson, the number 3 hitter, steps to the plate. Great Britain put up 27 in the first match against the team from Russia 2 days ago. They put up 24 on the first day of the week against Serbia. And even scored 6 in or I should say 5 in a losing effort yesterday, but remain the most potent offense in the tournament. And as I said, the GB lineup, throw over to Brereton, he's safely back. GB lineup seems so much more alive today than they were in the last couple of days. Maybe all the winning early in the week kind of tightened guys up, but they're playing loose and having fun today. 13-1 with a runner on first. Thompson takes a fastball for a strike. 1-1 is the count. There's a slider outside the zone. I know the picture is not what we all wish it might be, but I've had to find shaded space where I could get it, and the fence is really rather crooked here. 2 outs in the second. Brereton off first. He's not going. And Thompson swings through for the second strike. 2-2 is the count. Fastball high, full count now.
Let's go, Ollie, Ollie, Ollie.
3-2, 2 out. Brereton should be going. I wonder whether he will give it his full effort. He does go. And Thompson swings through strike 3. So the end of the second inning sees Britton scores 5 more, 13 runs on 11 hits. No errors for GB, 1 run on 3 hits, and just 1 error for Russia. We'll be back in a minute.
Do you want something?
That's all right.
Fizzy kind or?
I'm not sure. How are Slovaks in order?
Yes, it is. Back to the top of the third. Luke Armstrong has settled in very nicely now. He's pitching to leadoff hitter Vasily Kochanov. Armstrong, beneficiary of a 12-run lead. There's ground ball to second base, and it hits right off Mosier's foot as he stepped, it seems to me, stepped in to set his front foot to make the throw, and the last hop hit him right on top of the toe. So Zucker runs it down, and error at short leads to a man on first with nobody out. Antonio Bulte, second baseman, comes to the plate. Here's a slider. Stays high. Inside. 1-0. Thanks for your patience today. Trying to get this feed back and running as quickly as I can. I think we should be okay. Foul ball out of play, 1-1. From here on in, I found, though not the greatest viewing spot, I am able to steal some shade from the scorer's table here now behind home plate. There's curveball, stays high. 2-1. And that curveball drops right into the zone. Armstrong has thrown a number of those just beauties that start high. About chin high, batter doesn't budge, and the ball drops right into the zone. There's another one. Ground ball to Mosier. This could be 2 flips to Brereton for 1. Over to first, and he got him in plenty of time. Brereton sends a rocket over to first, and there's 2 outs. Pitcher's best friend, the double play. GB turning a few of those in the latter innings of yesterday's game when they were beginning to stir and tried to come back. So now nobody on, 2 outs. There's a line drive, going to be fair down the left field line. It will be 2 for Nikita Lakov, who cruises into second base. With a stand-up double in the first pitch. Nice piece of hitting there. First baseman now, Maxim Makarkin. Sorry to Maxim if I make that sound more Irish than Russian, but Maxim Makarkin. Makarkin, I suppose. 2 out, man on second, RBI opportunity here, and chance for Russia to chip away on the GB lead. Oh, tries to flip one in inside, but it remains inside 1-0. Fastball on the black outside part of home plate, 1-1. Third base coach, quite rightly, reminding his batter, look, if you don't agree, it's too late. Don't worry about it. Shake it off. Focus on the next one. Good advice. Well, at least that's what I think it was in Russian. There's that curveball. Oh, it just does not drop in. A beauty when it does, and it just stayed a little high. So 2-1. Not a cloud in the sky. There's a curveball in the dirt. Brown for the second or third time today. Working hard and blocking that ball before it can get away. 3-1 to the big first baseman from Russia. Fastball down the middle, 3-2. As I just said, where he's from, it was so tempting to say, I can't bring myself to do it. Russia in a funny voice that would be known to my compatriots back home, but they've been too good at sports all week, and great attitude here as he lines the ball just over Mosier's outstretched hand. It's going to get to center field where it dies in the grass, and that will score the runner from second with no throw. So an RBI for Makarkin, and it's 13-2 now. Great Britain over Russia. And the first 2 outs, unlikely to steal if I had to bet the last euros in my pocket. There's a fly ball to deep left, and it looks like it will be gone. Get a signal? We got a signal. A home run, 2-run home run for Team Russia. And just like that, with 2 outs, the visitors have put up 3 this inning. So word to the wise and a reminder to GB that with this fence, this game is going to never be out of hand. Because you can score runs in bunches. Let me give credit where credit is due. That was Pablo Rodriguez on the home run, the designated hitter for Team Russia. Ivan Bobkin up. I liked his work the other day when we played on Friday. And Bobkin, having not started behind the plate, came in the second as Makarkin went to first. 13-4 now. GB up with 2 outs in the third, nobody on. The fastball just misses up. Probably was up, kind of pitcher wants to get though. And there's a 4-pitch walk to follow the home run. Bobkin on first. Pitching coach Will Lintern heads out. Have a word with Luke. Perhaps a bit unnerved by the home run. Thanks to all of you who hung in there. I hope you are happy you did. Beautiful day here, and GB has been swinging the sticks pretty good, but Russia has closed the gap a bit. As I said, I apologize for the intrusion of the chain link fence. It's a fence that's rather bent up at this part of the wall, and so tough to get a spot. Well, that's a little better. And there's a fastball, strike one. 0-1. 2 outs in the third. 13-4. Hello in Port Washington. Hello in Durham, North Carolina. Brown does again a block and keeps the ball in front of him. Hello in North Devon. Hello in Russia. We're happy you're here. Bobkin hammers at the left. It will stay up. All that. I think it's a factor of how shallow the outfielders are playing, and they're playing shallow because the walls are not deep. But that's a ball that normally would be a well-earned single to left, and it stays up and it's caught for the third out. So after 2.5, 13-4, and Great Britain will be coming to bat.
We got a change.
Who is out?
Number 23, center fielder. Yeah, and number 30 go in same position. Philadelphia, yes. Huh?
And the Russian pitcher, Artem Laganov, finishes his warm-up. Forgive me if he pitched the last inning. I checked before he started, and while the scoreboard had not changed, I suspect he may have come in. But I do know he's standing there now, number 24, as the Russian coach continued for the better part of a year, almost a year and a half. And he is coaching for Bill Percy at third. Fly ball to shallow right is misplayed by the right fielder, and so that'll be an error. Sun is high, but that shouldn't have caused too many problems, or at least as many as it seemed to have caused in the end there. So error to open the bottom of the third, and Freddie Mosier steps to the plate. Mosier has a 3-run homer to his tally already today. Hammers ball in the hole, and that's a base hit. His second of the day, moves Connor Brown to first. First pitch swinging. GB has found that left. It's amazing what a change a day makes. GB found that hole between short and third today half a dozen times, I'd have to guess, and yesterday could not find a hole. For love or money, first and second, nobody out. For Conrad Cornell, the DH, he's 2 for 2. And quietly having a very, very impressive tournament at the plate. And the ball is deep in the hole, gets through again. Let's see if they send Brown. They will. Ball's bobbled a bit and left, and he'll score easily. So another hit. That's the third of the day for Conrad Cornell, and he's now above a 500 batting average for the tournament. Cornell 3 for 3, and here comes Rory Chandler. GB sporting 4 averages in excess of 500 now. Cornell joining Chandler. Diaz, who's out with a hand injury, and Brereton, who's knocking on the door of 600 now after his 3 hits. Chandler swings, flies it to right. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? And the right fielder makes a catch at the wall, throws it into the tagging. Oh, well, let's go back here. Oh, a big mistake, having just made a nice play. The right fielder caught the ball at the wall, and Mosier rightly tagged up from second. But the throw either went to the wrong base or just got away from the cutoff man. And so Cornell hustled down to second behind Mosier. Doesn't seem like much, but it certainly should have been first and third. And instead, John Hall Walsh steps in with a 2 RBI opportunity, second and third, for the first baseman for Great Britain. If they're watching down under, good evening, mate. As Hall Walsh takes a slider that drops in for strike 1. 14-4, 1 out in the third. GB threatening again with runners on second and third. Curveball, pretty good pitch. Missed low. Hall Walsh exhibiting a good eye as he lays off that tempting pitch. There's another strike. Good one on the inside corner. Not giving in. Pitcher still has to make pitches he wants to make. Got a lot more game left. And Russia's going to want to chip away when they get a chance. So they'd love to see somehow if they can get an out. And there's a line drive into the gap between left and center. It will not be caught. Dive, but it gets back to the wall. Hall Walsh is going to round to second. And that plates 2 more GB runs. Mosier followed by Conrad Cornell on the double. So the left center wall by John Hall Walsh. 16 for Great Britain. Everybody getting into the act today. And that brings third baseman Will Zucker to the plate. Hall Walsh at second. Standard lead. Game is an hour and a half old, and we're in the bottom of the third. There's a fastball outside. 1-0. Tucker fouls one back. Strike off the screen behind home plate. 16-4. Hall Walsh hammering a ball to the wall and left for a double. Zucker waits for it, chops it down to third. It's going to be a fair ball. Here's a throw over to first. It is bounced, and it is, I thought it was late. And the ump called the first baseman off the base anyways. So either way, Zucker gets on. I don't know what they'll score that at. Probably was an error on the third baseman's throw in the dirt, but That is not for me to decide. First and third now. For the top of the order, Jamie Dix. If he gets, well, not if he gets on, there's only one out. But following Dix will be Brereton, who's got 3 hits already in the day. Takes the first pitch for a ball. 16 runs on 16 hits. No errors for Great Britain. 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Team Russia. First and third. Dix swings through a fastball up. 1-1 is the count. There's fastball up. 2-1. Dix is 1 for 3 on the day already, an RBI and 2 runs scored. Ball in the dirt. Board says 3-0. I think it's 3-1. Brereton on deck. Dix, I think, on 3-1. Takes a slider outside. That loads the bases for Richard Brereton, who is 3 for 3, 3 RBIs and a run scored already. And his average up to 593 for the tournament. We'll look at this as a golden opportunity with just 1 out to, I suspect, swing from his heels. Third base coach Bill Percy reminding him a line drive does the trick. Bases loaded. Fastball outside, 1-0 on the GB second baseman. 16-4. A dangerous spot here for the Russian team. Brereton takes a, I'm going to call it a changeup. Certainly he tried to take a little something on the fastball there, 2-0. Nowhere to put him. Brereton hammers a fastball down the line, and that's going to score 2, probably another double for the second baseman. It may even score 3. Here comes Dix, who slides in the third and will hold. Brereton has his 3rd double of the day as he smokes it down past the third baseman for another double and another 2 RBIs. It's 18-4. And Russian coach now out of the dugout to replace his pitcher.
Twenty. Thank you.
So a bases loaded double by Richard Brereton, his 3rd of the day. Plates 2 more, GB 18-4 now. GB answering the 3 spot that Russia scored in the top of the 3rd with 3 of its own in the bottom of the 3rd. Eighteen to 4. Bottom of the 3rd. Here comes Ollie Thompson. And he will be facing Ivan Golubiev. Golubiev, a right-handed pitcher. and has some work to do with second and third and still just one out for the GB right fielder. Takes fastball high. Good start for Kolobiev. Oh and 1, one out, second and third. Ollie Thompson at the plate for Great Britain. Takes fastball outside, 1-1. Thompson hammers the ball, drops in front of the center fielder. It will score one for sure, and Bill Percy's going to hold. Brereton at third, Thompson now at first and third. Still one out, RBI for Ollie, and the score is now 19-4 as Jamie Dix crosses home plate. GB relentless against the Russian pitching this week. There's a fastball high, good pitch by Ivan Kolobiev. He'd do well to stay around the zone as opposed to crossing over the heart of the plate, which is the one that gets hammered. There's Connor Brown deep to center field. Center fielder goes back, catches it in the snow cone at the top of what is a small hill out there, and Brereton will tag up from third. So, may not have looked like it, but an excellent and very difficult play by the center fielder, Danielle Perodowski. And Brown plates the 20th run of the game for Great Britain. Terrific play, but with a man on third, Brereton easily tagged up to score. So Brown is on third, and Mosier steps in. There's a fastball rocketed down the left field line. It's going to get to the corner. Mosier's going to get to second, and Brown will hold up at third. So Mosier stays hot and hits the double down the line. Mosier, it's his third hit of the day. Single, a double, and the home run in the first that really put a charge into the GB lineup, and the dugout has been fired up and chirping all day. Everybody in the lineup with a base hit, at least now. There's a fastball just high on Conrad Cornell, who is 3 for 3 on the day, 2 ribbies and 3 runs scored. He has a homered back-to-back behind Freddie Mosier in the first. Fastball down, gets away from the catcher, and that will score Connor Brown. And that will allow Freddie Mosier to get to third base. So 21, I think. And Cornell has Brereton what it was a couple of innings ago, robbed of an opportunity to get a ribby here, but he will be happy his compatriot scored 21-4. Mosier now on third base. With 2 down, fastball outside. Cornell wastes the pitch. The outside lands on top of the roof of the apartment building. It's more like a school, to be honest. Right next to us, down behind the Russian dugout. 21-4 now. Fastball low and outside. 4-4. Good save by the catcher, Bobkin. I've admired his work all week. Works hard back there. And that'll bring Rory Chandler up with 2 down and men on first and third here in the third. 21-4. Great Britain came out swinging in the first and has not stopped. Takes a fastball just high The ump not expanding the zone at this point, and good for him. There's no point in playing the game any other way than it should be contested. Chandler's got a hit in 3 trips with a run scored. Bobkin saves a run there. Mosier retreats to third. Cornell's still at first base. Bill Percy, I would suspect, is tapping the brakes here on extra base running and stealing. But you can't do anything about base hits, and GB has 19 of them. It's a fastball very high. Bobkin jumps from his squatting position and winds up jumping about 3 foot off the ground from the squat, so impressive athleticism there. Fastball right at the coconut, and Chandler ducks out of the way for a 4-pitch walk. Bobkin goes out to talk with his pitcher, and looks like he'll be joined by the head coach, who is going to call in another Russian pitcher. So we'll get a change here. 21-4, Great Britain in the third with 2 outs. And Russia will change pitchers. We'll be back in just a moment. Russia was the second place team in the A pool, and they went 3-1. Well, they 3-0, frankly, before GB and Russia tussled for the first time 2 days ago. And when they lost to Croatia last night, despite mounting a furious rally in the ninth, they slipped into this game against Great Britain today. But it's been all GB Lions over the Russian Bear today on Sunday, the 12th of August. About 4:45 local time here in Bratislava, Slovakia. Great Britain has put on its hitting shoes and put on a hitting display. As a team, 5 doubles and 2 homers so far. Triple would be pretty impressive because with the fence as oddly shaped as it is and close, you'd be hard-pressed to be able to get to third base. Here's a fastball in the dirt. And I will get the new name of our Russian pitcher. He is Vitaly Valaliev, number 50. We saw him the other day. And the fastball just misses. I know because I practiced Valaliev quite a few times. That ball's hammered right off the pitcher who picks it up. Will throw to first in time. He got smoked in the leg, but gathered himself in time to make the play. Heck of a job by the pitcher there. Not easy to do, and getting a hand from everybody here in attendance. That was brave play. So, it also was the third out of the inning, and we will head to the top of the fourth. Great Britain up 21-4 over Russia. Here's Armstrong's first pitch. Misses with a slider inside. 1-0. Fastball to Ilya Vorobiev. Swings through the letter high fastball, 1-1. Armstrong now has the opposite job of Russia. Ground ball. That's going to be a fair ball down the left field. Foul ball. Even the Russian third base coach called it, so obviously better view than I had. It sure looked like it was inside the bag, but Armstrong's job to keep the lead at more than 15. It's at 17 now for the next couple of innings, and you'll be able to wrap it up on a run rule. There's a strike 3 for the strikeout, Luke Armstrong. And Russia's obviously now playing. It's an interesting dynamic. We've seen it earlier in the week, and that is as you get to the point where the run rule becomes in play, the team's first priority is not thinking about winning the game and making steps to do that. The first priority is actually trying to chip away that lead so that you get to the next inning. You can think longer term. There's a fastball high. To Artem Logvanov, and he takes fastball low. Logvanov playing third base at the moment. There's been some shuffling of the ranks as Russia's probably used more pitchers than it expected to this point in the game. Armstrong fastball on the inside corner, tough pitch. On the strikeout and takes a fastball. Must have been looking for something else because that one was a pretty, and that'll be an error on 6E6, and the runner gets to first base. So had to glove it on the run and was unable to come up with it. Russia has a runner on with 1 out and the leadoff hitter is now Daniel Paradelsky. He's up at the plate, left-handed batter playing center field. I hesitated because there had been another hitter I know in that spot. He laces the ball into left. It's caught on the run by Chandler. And here's the throwback to first to see if he can get him. He cannot. Heck of a play by Rory Chandler. Covered a lot of ground to cut the ball off in the air in left center. So a nice job on the hop by number 2. And that will bring up Antonio Bulti, the second baseman, number 18, with now 2 out and 1 Russian. Good lead. Ball in the dirt gets away from Brown, and a runner advances to second. Brown has been a wall all day, and really the first one that's gotten by him. Short hopped him and gets back. In addition to the ball being in the dirt, there are some serious ruts. I'm right behind home plate, and I can't see the tops of the batter's shoes. They're so deep in the holes. There's a slider, misses inside. 2-0. The batters, right-handed batters at least, dig into the well-worn battlefield earlier today. And frankly, their feet are disappearing. That's how deep those holes are. Fastball just misses up. Fastball in the dirt, and that's a walk to the second baseman, Antonio Bulte. Shortstop, number 8, Nikita Lekov. 2 outs, strikeout, and a fly ball to left. Don't want to say harmless fly ball to left because it was dangerous off the bat, and Chandler covered a great deal of ground. But Lekov with a chance here. Fastball high. 1-0. Well, fastball down the pipe, but I suppose it must have been inside. I guess. I think. And there is what I think looked like an attempt at a slider, but he just lost it out of the hand. So 3-0 now on Nikita Lakov, and Maxim McCarkin will be up now. Once again, remember with the dimensions of this outfield fence, one swing with some men on bases changes the scoreboard in a flash. Got the green light and is not going to go. Chandler at the wall, but is under it. And there's a third out. So 3-0 swinging for Lakov. Nearly paid off, but in the end, a big loud out. The third of the inning is 21-4, bottom of the fourth. Great Britain coming to bat. Filaliev, the pitcher, Vitaly Filaliev, starts the bottom of the fourth. He will face the number 9 hitter, Will Zucker, followed by the top of the order, Jamie Dix and Richard Brereton, Oliver Thompson on up next in case any of those guys get on. I'm hesitating because I'm looking somebody run out to the bullpen for GB. I'll see if I can get a number. Zucker takes fastball on the inside black. Seb Molina and Matt Moran went out there. I don't know which one's warming up whom. I think Moran is probably the pitcher that is warming up to Seb. I think Seb's a backup catcher. So there's a ball to Will Tucker. So I'm going with Matt Moran warming up in the GB bullpen. And Zucker takes high for a ball, 2-1. There's a strike. Full count to the Great Britain third baseman. Hammers the ball to right. Got a chance. Oh, caught at the wall. So good play by the right fielder, Zucker. The fence is close, but it is high. So the fence is probably about 12 feet high, if I had to guess. Maybe at least 10. And Zucker robbed of his 4th hit of the day. He was 3 for 3. Prior to that at bat, Jamie Dix is up with 1 out here. Nobody on in the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th for Great Britain. Ball low. Two and 0 on the GB center fielder, 3-0. He is 1 for 3 on the day. And I suspect will be taking here all the way. He was, and it is a fastball on the inside. Black, 3-1 for Dix. He's got an RBI and 3 runs scored in addition to his hit today. Hammers the ball to right, and it's going to find its way through for a single. Dix is on, 1 out. And here comes Richard Brereton. Brereton 4 for 4 today, 3 doubles, 2 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. Bringing his batting average back across the 600 mark, 607 at the moment. He's had a big tournament, far more extra base hits than singles, and be looking to add to that tally here. 1 out with a man on. Fastball under the armpits, 1-0 to today's British second baseman. Fastball up, 2-0. Hammers the ball to center. Will it have enough? It's going back. It's going back. It's going back. It is gone. And Brereton gets a home run over the center field, just right of the center field mark. He will pick up his 6th and 7th RBIs today on his 5th base hit. Dix scores. Brereton scores behind him, and as he did on Monday, a home run for the Emory University Eagle. (23-4). And they gave him the silent treatment in the dugout, one of the great baseball traditions. Ollie Thompson up. Still only 1 out, 23-4 now, Britton. And there's a strike, 1-1. 5 for 5, 7 RBIs. 3 runs scored for Richard Brereton, batting 621 now for GB. Ball outside to Ollie Thompson. Swings mightily through a fastball. Two and two. Thompson swings and strikes out for the second out of the 4th, 23-4, GB. Connor Brown in the batter's box. Takes a fastball high for ball 1. There's a strike. Brown 2 for 3 today. 2 ribbies, 3 runs scored. Every GB hitter has a hit. There's a slider high. Dix has got 2, Brereton 5, Thompson 1, Brown 2, Mosier 3, Cornell 3, 1 for Chandler, 1 for Hall Walsh, and 3 out of 4 for Will Zucker. So big day at the plate. There's a fastball high. Going to score 23 runs. It's going to take 21 base hits There've only been 5 Russian walks. It's not been that today. GB doing it with the stick. Brown takes a mighty hack. Fastball right down the middle. Valaliev challenging him, not backing off. Same pitch right down the middle. And gets Thompson and Brown to strike out in order. So, good effort by Valaliev, but the damage had been done one batter earlier. GB now up 23-4.
Substitution. Just 2. Who is out? Out is Zucker, Will. So where is he? You mean he's at third base. Third base is out. And in is Molina. Molina is number.
We had one.
Molina Sebastian. Yeah, Molina Sebastian. He has number 5, right? Yep. Okay. So he goes to the same position. Yep. All right. Fred Mosier, number 7, is out. Is it second base? Yes. In is Matt Moran. Second base is out. Yeah. Base bad. Moran is number Matthew. Yes. Number 3.
So some changes for GB.
Mosier's out. Yes.
A couple of players coming into the game.
You look good behind the dish, Paul.
Seb Molina takes over duties at third base. Matt Moran moves in to play second base. Richard Brereton slides over to play shortstop. And that means Mosier and Zucker done for the day, having contributed greatly to a GB lead. And if this lead holds up, 19-run lead holds up through the top half of this inning, this ball game will be over. 4, 5, and 6 for Russia. Maxim McCarkin, Pablo Rodriguez, and Ivan Bobkin.
Out. And
Fastball hammered to Matt Moran, second base. Stabs it on the run, makes a throw to first. And Hall Walsh can't come up. The ball skidded. John Hall Walsh had every reason to think that ball would hop up nice and high. It bounced in the dirt, good 4 feet in front of him, which should have been a real easy hop for him, but it hit and skidded, stayed down, and couldn't come up with it. So, error on the throw puts a man on first. Nobody out here in top of the 5th. Russia needs runs. Slider falls in for strike 1. I had wrongly assumed that Moran was warming up Molina because one of them was going to pitch, but both of them were coming in the game to play defense. Rodriguez at the plate. Takes a slider that drops in for strike. And that ball stays up. I think it's 2-1. The board shows 1-1. I think it's 2-1, but we'll see in a second here. Fastball up and out. That's a ball. So for the 3rd time this week, GB scores over 20 runs. And there's a fast ground ball line to third, picks it up, throws over to Moran at second, gets the out, and that is all that Molina is able to get. So Molina, nice stab, reaching across his body to pick up a hard hit ball, and throws it over to Moran, who manages to catch the throw, which was a little bit of a stretch, and keep his toe on the base. So One down, and Rodriguez replaces McCarkin at first. It'll be Ivan Bobkin, the catcher, up. Trying to extend the game. To do so, they need to close this gap. 15 runs ends the game. And right now, it's a 19-run lead. There's a slider, drops out of the zone. Two and 0. Fastball stays high. 3-0. And Connor Brown out to talk to Luke Armstrong, taking nothing for granted.
Yes, Brereton comes for short. No. And Mora, number 5, Mosier is out, there is Mora.
There's a fastball on 3-0. Bobkin trying to sell the walk. And Russia chooses to switch out Rodriguez for a pinch runner. I don't know his number. If I can spot it, I'll tell you who is now on at first. 3-1.
Okay.
I think he said it's either 9 or 99. I will let you know in a moment. There's a fastball taken for a strike. So Armstrong back in the count, 3-2. Russian coach encouraging Bobkin to be a bit more aggressive. 3-2. Runner stays. And he hammers the ball down the right field line. If it's fair, it's a problem, but it's not fair. So we'll do it again at 3-2. The runner looks to be Igor Zolotarev, number 9, who is running for Rodriguez. Errant ball winds up in Hall Walsh's pocket. Of course, he can't keep it there. And the umpire asks for that. Nice try, though. Interesting opportunity for a hidden ball trick. 3-2 now on Bobkin. One down. Runner goes on a ball in the dirt. There's a ball for first and second. One out. Russia needs 5. So there's still 2 base runners away from hanging in this game. There's fastball in dirt, gets away from Brown. Both runners will advance second and third now with 1 out. Golden opportunity for Konstantin Porkun to plate a couple. And just to be sure, pitching coach Will Lintern going out to have a word with Luke Armstrong. I suspect he's saying some version of don't be cute. Throw it down the middle. You got a lead. You've got good defenders behind you, so no reason to get cute now. Fastball high. 1 out, second and third. Russia needs a fistful of runs if they're going to extend this game. Slider stays high. Vorobiev waits on deck. Ball in the dirt, good block by Brown. But it's ball 4. Bases are loaded. Conrad Cornell walking down to the bullpen to warm up. Soft tossing. I don't know who he's tossing with, but I'm assuming Cornell is a pitcher potentially who comes in. Russia needs 5. But one swing of the bat could get them 4 right here with 1 out, top of the 5th. Foul ball, strike 1 on Vorobiev. With these fences, one swing will make this game a lot tighter than it was a moment earlier. And there's a pop-up, infield pop-up, not what he wanted. Molina gloves it for the second out. So a golden opportunity for Vorobiev handed to Artem Logvanov. 2 outs now. That makes the mountain just a little bit steeper for Russia. Bases are loaded, but 2 outs. They're looking at 4, but they need 5 if this game is going to continue. Coach Willentern shouting out to Luke Armstrong, challenge him. Go ahead and throw it. Don't be shy. There's a fastball right down the middle. That's what he's talking about. Just throw it hard. If he beats you, he beats you. You got a big lead. Go ahead and throw it. Russian third base coach reminding his batter that's probably what's going to happen. There's a slider, drops in. Suddenly 0-2. Squirts away from Brown, but only by a foot or so. So we're down to our last out here potentially. Not only of the game, but of the tournament. GB must be over 100 runs now. I haven't stopped to add it up, but 100 runs for the week. My, oh my. Played their hearts out, had one bad half a game. There's a foul ball down the right field side. One bad half a game. Otherwise have been just crushing the ball up and down the lineup. Oh, 2. And the slider, oh my. Ump wants to string this out a little bit further. That was a terrific slider, dropped right in the zone, but not to be. 1-2. Batter won't get that twice. He should count himself fortunate. He won't get that call twice. Fastball outside, 2-2.
All right, finish, Luke, come on.
Pitching coach Will Lintern thinking that last pitch before it looked good, and from where I sit, which is even better than where he sits, I have to agree with him. 1-2. Goes to the slider and gets him looking. That will be the ball game. So GB in 4.5 on the run rule. Defeats Russia 23-4. And Great Britain will look back on this week through a lens of some regret. But they need to focus on the fact that they hit like few Great Britain teams before have hit. And if not for about 3 challenging, scuffly innings yesterday, they'd have gone through. But took care of business today, came out with a great attitude, and were fired up. 23-4, ending the game and the tournament on an up note. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. It kept me out of trouble to do this, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Goodbye from Bratislava, Slovakia.